What is going on, and welcome back to the channel. We are your Colorado real estate family. All right, so here's the thing is when we talk to you guys, mainly over Zoom because you're out of state, you're constantly looking at these cities, but then you're also interested in your other options. Where else can I move? I am interested in the city. Today we're talking about Fort Collins, but what other options do I have? What other cities are surrounding that might be possible for me to move into?
All right, let's go. If this is your first time watching, my name's Chelsea and this is Pete. And if you're interested in what it's like to move to Colorado, Denver, or any of its surrounding cities, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We are the people that you need to know to learn all about all the surrounding cities here in Denver.
Yeah, guys, what we like to do is be your boots on the ground experts in regards to all these different areas, right? You want to know maybe the cost of living here. You want to know the activities here. You want to know the best place for your family, or say you're moving in here as an individual. We like to bring you as much of that information as possible. Also, if you're looking to purchase into Colorado, give us a ring. Licensed real estate agent. I'm going to throw my phone number in right below, right here. I guess it's our phone number. It's not really my phone number. But
It's fine, you can
whatever.
claim it.
We're a little rusty, I'm not gonna lie. You guys don't know that we've been on a break, but we actually just got back from doing an awesome Airbnb property out Lake of the Ozarks. So we're kind of there might be some bloopers. If you
Might be some bloopers.
if you stick around to the end of this video, I might throw a few bloopers in because we already put a few in there. So
Okay, we have been hearing from a lot of you out of state, out of country, and a lot of times it's really easy to narrow down by a certain city. You know which big city that you want to be. You want to be around Fort Collins or Boulder or Denver or maybe even Colorado Springs. However, a lot of you have been saying, yeah, I want to be close to the city, but I don't necessarily need to be in the city.
in that city,
Yeah, and
I want to take advantage of the amenities, but I could still have a 30-minute drive.
Yeah. And
You know?
it's funny, we actually, 4 or 5 times this has happened over the last couple weeks?
Last week, it's happened 3 times.
Yeah, so it really triggered Peter and I to say, you know what? We should focus on, yes, this city, you've already narrowed it down to this city. So let's go ahead and surround it for you, give you some details about all the little surrounding cities around that, just in case, you don't want to be right
You
in
want to
the
look at
middle.
your options, right? And you know what? We did it by putting down a little pink notepad. I know.
He always jokes about my notepad. I like to do it by where things are on a map. So if we're looking at our peak notebook, don't judge us. We got you the most accurate, up-to-date numbers for 2022.
All right, very
Okay.
good. We're gonna start with. So we're gonna move clockwise, right? So we got Fort Collins. We're gonna move northeast, and I don't know. This is backwards. So I don't know. It's probably gonna be
That away.
that way.
Because if it's that way.
Northeast, that way.
We'll show a map. It's fine. Okay.
Northeast. The first city we're gonna cover is Windsor, Colorado.
Yes, Windsor. So population, 35,000, which is pretty small in comparison to a lot of the cities that we're going to be talking
Well, compared
about
to Fort
today.
Collins, Fort
We'll
Collins.
do Fort Collins last.
Okay, all right.
Wait, should we do it first?
I don't know.
Let's do it first. Okay, we're going to show you what Fort Collins is. That way you have a comparable. So Fort Collins is population of 176,000, okay? That also...
By far the largest city of all the ones that we're talking about.
Yes, and obviously the city that we're relating everything to.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the median household income for each of these cities as well, just to help you get an idea.
So just a quick disclaimer in there, we're using World Population Review or World,
.com, yep.
yeah, something like that. So like I said, that's where we're getting our numbers. If anything's wrong about this or you have any other statistics, you can find whatever you want on Google, right?
You really
so
can.
like I said, we're like, all right, we need to make sure we get it all from the same spot, and that's
Right.
what we're going with.
Yeah, that way if you're doing comparable, even if it changes here or there, you'll
Yep.
still get, even if we were looking at other sites like we did, you're still seeing the same trend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
so,
saying, I don't want any daggers thrown at me. Hey, you're wrong about that.
Yeah, especially if it's only like 10s or whatever. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. We might even cut out the last couple, so just bear with us.
All right.
Okay, so median household income in Fort Collins is 65,800-ish. So that's kind of what we're going to be going off of. Peter, each time we go to a different city, I'm going to be talking about population. I'm going to tell you about the median household income, and then Peter's going to bring in,
Of course, the real estate.
Real estate.
What was the median sales price? And when I say median sales price, what did homes sell for in Fort Collins, Colorado? And it's actually low. It's $466, and it's down 3% from December of 2021. Here's the thing. When I use these numbers, it could fluctuate because it depends on what houses were thrown up, what houses were sold, right? And so it could fluctuate. But I want to give you the most up-to-date information instead of just your home value, because those are pretty, they kind of go up like this, where this, you have a good idea. Hey, I'm looking at buying a property in, March of 2022. Here's what they're going for in January. I have a good idea what my house is going to kind of sell for. So really long and drawn out explanation over that, but I really want to kind of give you the info why use that median sales price and not the median home value.
Right, for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so now going around all the different cities around Fort Collins that are close enough to take advantage of the amenities of Fort Collins, but maybe not necessarily in Fort Collins. So the first city we're going to cover is Windsor.
Windsor.
And Windsor's population is 35,000, about 35,000, and way smaller than Fort Collins. And anybody who's local knows Windsor's pretty small.
Well, and like Windsor was known for the tornado that they had there. What was it? Probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's
been
been a
that
minute.
long. It's been a while. It's you guys. Out of the state, you have these correlations. So it's like like Frederick, like there was that huge family thing, and then now Superior's gonna be known
For the fire.
Yeah, so it's like you might have heard these thrown out here and there, but Windsor's an amazing little kind of suburbia style town, and I love it.
Small town suburbia is the best way to describe
it
it.
is. Yeah, it's grown up so much. It's going up like crazy.
For
so,
sure. And
yeah.
this actually surprised me a lot. The median household income was $99,700.
Yeah.
That is pretty high for a median household income in comparison to some of the other cities.
That we're gonna be
So
talking about.
I don't know if it's because of the being kind of farm town, like on the outskirts of Windsor.
Well,
or
I think
what.
it's a lot of the new development, and also Windsor kind of want to be known as kind of more of a uppity city in regards to the housing that they're putting in there, so they're not just like putting a bunch on multifamily. They're really proud about having more of your detached. I'm sure now that we're kind of progressing a little bit more into they're getting more population, they're going to have to put more of that multifamily in, but that's the biggest reason why. It's kind of the housing that they put into Windsor, Colorado. What is the median sales price of January 2022? You're looking at $565. So, I mean, it's higher than Fort Collins for sure, but I mean, Fort Collins, we did it last month, and it was I think it was $530 last month in December 2021. So it kind of fluctuates. Like I said, with this median sales price, you're going to see that.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else about Windsor?
It's on the
east side.
They have great boat races out at Windsor Lake that I used to go to as a kid, and it was just, it was super awesome. That was when it was much smaller than it is now, but Windsor's amazing.
Okay, so now we're going to go over to a bigger city, which is Greely. We've talked about Greely a lot, so if you haven't checked out our other Greely videos, go check them out now. But the population is 112,000, about 112,000. And the median household income is 57,500. So definitely, it's almost half. The median household income is almost half of Windsor, but the population is double.
Yeah.
Almost.
Another thing to know too, it's further from I-25, and we've always talked about 25. The closer you get to the mountains from 25, or say you're on the east side of I-25, you're still closer to the mountains, and so there's usually a higher price point when we're talking about these cities.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, and so Greeley, we're kind of looking at real estate. We're looking at $400,000 is your median sales price for January of 2022. So definitely lower than Fort Collins, like I said, but it's up and coming. It's actually one of the fastest growing cities in Colorado, so don't expect that number to stay there. It's going to keep going up and up and up. So.
And Greeley is also home to UNC, college town, and so
University of Northern Colorado.
Yes, definitely a good little city to be in for sure.
Yep.
Okay, what's next?
So next one, we're going to go down to Johnstown.
Ooh, Johnstown.
And Johnstown, it's weird because a lot of people think because it kind of intertwines a little bit. A lot of people consider it more Loveland and all that stuff. And it's a great little city. Actually, we have a good friend that lives in Johnstown, and they have like a newspaper, Johnstown Times or something like that she gets to read. And so it's a smaller city, but what are the numbers? What are we looking at?
Okay, 18,700 for about your population. So far the smallest city that we're going to talk about. Is it it's the smallest, I think.
Yep.
But the median household income is 100,000. So one of the higher ones. as far as median household income.
All right, and so then we're going to dive into the real estate. What's the median sales price on home selling in Johnstown, Colorado? You're looking at $530. So same thing, January 2022, you got that median sales price of $530. It's going to fluctuate. I'm going to go over it again and again, just so I reiterate in case you're skipping forward in these videos. So, all right, cool. The next one we're going to hit, was it Loveland?
Loveland.
Loveland,
Yeah.
Colorado. Yeah, so what are the numbers on Loveland?
Loveland is going to be 82,200-ish for population. And Loveland's pretty big. You know, this is going to be right south of Fort Collins, and a really great option because it's a little less of a price point and, you know, kind of cost of living and all of that, but still right there to Fort Collins. I mean, Loveland and Fort Collins touch on the northern side of Loveland, and so definitely a good area to look at if you don't want to be in Fort Collins but you want to still be close.
I've always considered Loveland like the smaller sibling of Fort Collins. You know, you have Fort Collins, which is, you know, you got the college town, you got CSU and all that, and then there was always like Loveland, you know, it's like very like, I don't know, family oriented in my mind, but it's just a smaller city. It's a beautiful city. They have Lake Loveland there. If you've never been, I highly recommend checking out the downtown. They have an amazing downtown, some great food. So check out Loveland. And
yeah, the other good thing about Loveland, so I actually used to live in Loveland, and the good thing about it is, you know, you can be in town, but they also have a lot of newer builds, or more custom builds, kind of closer to the foothills and stuff, and so you wouldn't even feel like it is Loveland, and it's like right next to Fort Collins. So really good option.
Yep.
Okay, so as far as the median household income, you know how hard that is to say? I mean, like, trying not
median household income.
But like I talk kind of fast. I'm like trying not to.
I think we
like,
both talk
blah,
fast. We
blah,
try and
blah.
slow ourselves down so much, and like even my last video, I caught myself. I'm it was just not
The
good.
more excited we get, the faster we talk.
That's fact.
Just saying. So we start talking slow, you know, it's not a topic we particularly love. Okay, so the median household income is $68,500, which is, you know, pretty normal.
Well, it's lower than Windsor. It's lower than Johnstown, and so you know, I think the thing about it though is Loveland. They have a lot of people who have been there a while,
Yes.
right? And so with that, you probably have a lot of retirees and such who aren't out there, you know, trying to make their fortunes and all that. And so Loveland, it's just very established, and with that, you're probably gonna need a little bit lower median income. All right, so what we're looking at in regards to real estate in Loveland, it's actually $470, which is higher than Fort Collins this month, for January 2022. So typically Fort Collins is higher just because it's a little bit more popular. Fort Collins just probably had a down month, but yeah, so we're looking at $470 median sales price for Loveland, January 2022.
Okay, so we're gonna go a little further south and
Yep.
a tiny bit further west, and we're gonna talk about Berthoud. So Berthoud is population of 12,700. Berthoud's small, but Berthoud is cute.
It's a super cool. I mean, if you don't like just farm town and land everywhere and beautiful mountains everywhere, then Berthoud's not going to be for you because it's gorgeous there.
Yeah, and the houses, like, we had one of our best friends lived there for a while, and we were driving to her house, and we're like, God, okay, where is it? But it's like you could go from big old trees, kind of nothing, to cute little neighborhood right here, and just in the downtown of Berthoud.
Yeah, the cute little downtown. It's probably definitely one of the smallest downtowns that we've talked about, little old town, and so they have that
definitely
cool
the old town
vibe.
for sure.
You know, everyone, you know, the Smiths know the Millers, and everyone knows everyone. It's
Okay, so the median household income is $78,300. So a little bit more than, you know, and this is about, you know, this is pretty far west. How in correlation to Fort Collins? I guess it's directly
it's
south.
like directly south of
the
it's like
West Fort
straight
Collins.
down, right
but-
up the highway, kind of. You have to get past all the
No,
farmland.
It's not off the highway.
Well, the city is, but you still have to get past the farmland.
That's true. To go anywhere in Berthoud, it's going to be a little bit like Longmont when we talk about that. Like, there's a little bit of a drive off the highway before you're like,
Fact.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
at even though you're in Berthoud, there's not anything to do right there. So you got to keep going.
All right, cool. So the median home sales price is $493, and it's actually down from December, from into January 2022. It's down 8%. So, like I said, that just might have been a huge thing where people decide not to sell their houses in
the
January.
springtime or
Exactly,
something,
yeah.
yeah.
So don't put too much on that. I just say, you know, right below 500 or right around 500,000 is what you're kind of looking at for your median sales price in Berthoud, Colorado.
Okay, awesome. So, I mean, there's really, when you're in Fort Collins, there's really not a lot west of Fort Collins, right? West of Fort Collins is the mountains. Like Fort Collins touches the mountains. There is tons of, homes and stuff. Actually, go check out our neighborhood, the West Fort Collins, because that'll talk about kind of all those neighborhoods kind of on the west side. But there's really nothing over there, which is why we went from northeast all the way around. The only thing really north, like west of Fort Collins, is LaPorte.
LaPorte.
And LaPorte is itty bitty, right?
It's itty bitty. It's one of the smallest ones that we're talking about, for sure.
It's 2,400 for population, so it's just like a little itty bitty.
Little guy.
When I looked up LaPorte to get a picture, it just showed land. Because, and that's not to say that there is definitely like a little city there, but I was like, oh, that's just, LaPorte.
And so this, like, the reason that we cover a city like this is we literally had a couple of you guys within the last week who said, hey, I love this city, but I don't want to live in that city. I still want kind of some land to live on. I want somewhere where I'm kind of outside of it a little bit. And then when I decided to go to the grocery store, hey, Fort Collins is right there, right? And so that's why we're really covering this, is because we kind of saw, you guys were a trend. Wow, I don't know why it took me forever to come up with that. But we saw a trend when you guys were talking to us. You're like, hey, that's great. I'm glad you covered that, but what are my other options? Because I kind of want some land. I want a little bit more space. If you want to live like downtown Denver, that's great, cool, whatever. We're always kind of helping you out, but we still need to make sure that we kind of cover everything.
Yeah, and the good thing too is a couple, some families come to us as retirees and they're trying to find their forever homes, and we want them to know that there are all these little cities that we, are familiar with and that we can help with, that, maybe you don't want to be in the city, and that's totally fine. Okay, so when we are talking about median household income in LaPorte, it's about $55,000. So, a little on the lower end in comparison to some of the other surrounding cities. I mean, LaPorte's small and cute, and it's close to Fort Collins, so definitely a good option.
Oh, of course. And so with that, you have a smaller city, houses are probably selling for a lot more. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on how far east it is. It's right up to the mountains, though, so you're looking at a median sales price of $728 in January of 2022.
So that's pretty high. I mean, is that the highest out of everything?
Well, I mean, so we're also gonna do another video. Keep an eye out. We're gonna do one for cities closest to Boulder. All these little cities, we always talk about how expensive Boulder is, but these little pockets of cities that love their little small town feel, they're pricier than Boulder is.
It depends on how close they are to the mountains, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Like with the Boulder one, but yeah, there's definitely. Some people will pay to have this cute little small town feel. Now, some of the smaller cities, depending on there's like a sweet spot, don't you think? Like the small ones that are kind of nested into the mountains, you're going to pay a pretty penny. The smaller cities that maybe are just a little bit off, you might actually get less of a, less cost for a house than you are in the main city. So I think there's a little bit of a trend there.
Well, another thing you got to think about too is you're not buying cookie cutter houses here, right? You're buying houses that are, probably built, in the early 1900s. They might have a few newer houses in there, but you don't have too much suburbia. So you're purchasing houses that probably have a lot of land. With that, you're going to be paying a little bit more. So something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we covered, 6 different? I think it was 6. Correct me down below. We covered 6 different cities. If you want to live near Fort Collins, you want to take advantage of all the wonderful things that Fort Collins has to offer, but maybe not live in Fort Collins, these are 6 really great options surrounding Fort Collins that you need to look into. Definitely let us know if there's a certain area that you want us to look into for you. We do these videos for you. We can narrow it down by each city if you need, but at least this is a good overview for you to start.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to reiterate, so if you're looking to move into Colorado, give us a ring. We're going to throw our phone number in right below here. Give us a ring. We're always actually, she's answering, not me. Let me cut myself off there. Chelsea's usually the one answering, but she's actually a lot more pleasant on the phone than I am, so. All right, sounds good, guys. Well, until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
The cities that are all around Fort Collins that you might be interested in.
Maybe you said interested 4 times. Hey, nope. If this is your first time watching, I'm Chelsea, and this is Pete, and we are shit. I know. See, and this is Pete, and do yourself a favor.
All right, cool. What we did is what we're going to cover is blah. Okay, I'm just going to come back in.
Okay, hold on. Do you want me to do it now? Because you've been talking.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we have been hearing from a lot of you from out of state, even out of country, and they... Shoot. Okay, ready?
Yep.